All right, well, we'll find a comfortable seat and adding a pillow or blanket underneath your hips to support them. That feels more comfortable for our opening. And we'll start by rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And then take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bringing the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down, keeping your eyes closed or having your gaze gently downward. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath. Shoulders back and down, and sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. Just allowing yourself to settle in this space. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibrations. Take a full breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning. Set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the side. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. With your next inhaling breath, feel the breath fill your lungs gently. And then with your exhale, begin to slow it down and make it a little longer than the inhale, as if you were gently blowing it out of a straw, nice and slow and long, waiting for the edge of the breath, and then allowing the fresh in-breath to come in, and gently and slowly releasing the out-breath. With each long out-breath, notice where you can release, where you might be holding on in your body, letting it go with the breath. Allowing any thoughts or worries to also flow out on the breath. Take one more full extended breath. And then gently return to your natural breath, noticing any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace, calm. Bringing your awareness to your right hand, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together, and then bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you, creating a gentle bubble of your own joy and light. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down. Gently open your eyes. If you'd like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. And then with your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch our shoulders up by our ears. And as we exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Once more, lift and squeeze, wringing it out. Exhale, back and down. Bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulders down, gently squeezing the muscles around the scapula, holding it in place, strengthening them. Noticing if one side is a little looser or tighter than the other. See if you can gently balance the strength on each side. Then let's press the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart and the vision slightly. Gently squeeze the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. And gently opening the arms wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more, tucking the shoulder blades, squeezing the lower corners of them together. If it feels okay, flex the wrists, pressing through the palms, breathing into the heart. And then we'll bring our arms in front, crossing the right over the left. Excuse me. Bending the elbows, hands back to back, left hand around the right wrist, or bringing the hands to the shoulders if that feels better. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeezing the arms together, pressing the elbows forward as you breathe into the upper back. If it feels okay, you can gently begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending that stretch around the shoulders. And with your next inhaling breath, if it feels okay, lift those elbows a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, letting the arms come forward, being careful of your low back, letting the weight of the arms open a little bit more through the upper back as you rest here. Jaw and neck are soft. And with your next inhale, coming back to center, we'll gently unwrap the arms, open wide, pressing through the palms, lifting the heart. And then we'll bring the hands in front or arms in front, crossing the left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, gently squeezing the arms together, pressing the elbows away from you gently, breathing into the upper back. Creating space. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows. And with your next inhale, gently lifting the elbows up high, arching the back if that feels okay. And as you exhale, folding over, letting the arms drop down, being careful of the back. Breathing into the upper back. And with the next inhale, coming back to center, we'll unwrap the arms, sending them out to the sides, either with hands open or with closed fists. We'll make some circles with the wrists. And reverse the circles. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward. Drop your chin around the spine. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, rounding, pressing the palms away, drawing the belly toward the back. Inhale, lift, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the palms up and gently drop the chin toward the chest. Soften the elbows as you roll the shoulders back toward each other, squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades together, wringing out those trapezius muscles. Cross the shoulders and into the neck. Allow the jaw to be soft. And if it feels okay, release the back of the neck a little more, letting the chin drop toward the chest. If it feels okay, you could press the palms a little higher up toward the sky. Just listen to your arms and shoulders. And with your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, float the hands down. Take a breath in and out. Let's bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the right. Head comes around last. Lifting your heart with your inhale, gently twisting with the exhale. Hold and breathe. Keeping the left hand on the knee with your next inhaling breath, lift the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Lifting your heart with your inhale. Right hip drops toward the mat, reaching through the fingertips as you breathe into the right side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale, come back to the center. Take a breath in and out. We'll bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip. Face forward, deep breath in. Exhale, twisting toward the left, head comes around last. Lifting the heart with the inhale, gently twisting through the exhale, hold and breathe. With your next inhaling breath, keep the right hand on the knee and bring the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Lifting the heart, dropping the left hip toward the mat, fingertips reach across the ceiling. Breathing into the left side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, come back to the center and take a breath in and out. Let's extend our legs out in front of us. Scooting our feet down toward the end of the mat. We'll flex the feet. You can kind of rock the side to side a little, kind of, as one of my yoga teachers used to say, pulling the flesh out from underneath, because our sitting bones are a little more rooted down. Hadn't thought of that in a long time. Lengthen the spine, shoulders back and down. Engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up, and then gently lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay. Really engaging both the inner and outer quads. Drawing the toes toward you as you press the heels away. Noticing if the legs are kind of leaning out or in, and trying to have those toes and knees pointing up toward the ceiling. And then gently soften. With your next inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, gently fold forward, hands on the legs, floor, or feet. Being gentle with your body with this first forward bend especially. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften through the low back and the back of the legs. Allowing the knees to be slightly bent if that feels better for your hamstrings and low back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften, following your breath. Noticing those parts that are tired or tight. Sending the breath there and softening around them. Lengthen a little more with your next inhale. Soften a little more with your next exhale. And then with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the hands a few inches behind the hips, fingertips pointing toward the hips. Can keep the feet together, lifting the hips with the legs straight with inclined plane, or bend the knees, feet about hip width apart, lifting into reverse table, depending on what feels right for you today. So with your next inhaling breath, let's bend those elbows, lift the hips, head extends out from the spine. Exhale, gently lowering and hovering if that feels okay. Strengthening through those triceps as we hold ourselves. Inhale, lift. Exhale, gently lower and hover. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Head extends out from the spine, hips reach high, elbows stay slightly bent. Try not to let the head drop back onto the shoulders. Can pull the chin toward the chest if that feels better than the head extended out. And with your next exhale, gently lower down. And we'll shake out the wrists. All right, then let's gently round the spine and roll the rest of the way down. Extending the legs out, gently scanning up the body. Noticing those parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Lengthen through the neck. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Soften around the hip, gently letting go. Keeping the left hand on the knee, right arm falls out to the side, palm facing down or bending at the elbow. And as you exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Right hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip. Allowing the spine to sink into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, coming back to the center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. Exhale, pointing the toes toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath. releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel. Gently drop the sitting bones down toward the mat, letting the low back arch. And with your next exhale, draw the belly muscles down toward the back, tucking the pelvis and drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Pressing through the heel, belly muscles draw down. Stay here, or with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Reaching through the heel, belly muscle strong, neck is nice and long. You can stay here or gently flex the left foot, lifting it off of the floor a couple of inches. And you can stay here or release the hands. Gently lower the left leg. With your inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the leg. Taking a deep breath in and out once you reach the floor. Gently noticing the difference between the right and the left sides of the body in this moment. We'll bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen the neck, shoulders tuck under, soften around the hip. Oops, sorry. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Vision toward the left arm. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. With your next exhaling breath, point the toes toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. And then make gentle circles with the ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel, draw the belly muscles down toward the back. Oh, sorry, I forgot to have you do the arch first. So don't draw the belly muscles down toward the back. Drop the sitting bones and gently arch the low back as you reach through the heel. And now draw the belly muscles down toward the back with your exhale, tucking the pelvis and drawing the leg toward the torso. As you come to your next inhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Lengthen through the heel. Belly muscles draw down, neck is nice and long. Stay here or flex the right foot, lifting it a couple of inches off the floor. So you can stay here or also release the arms. And then gently lower the right leg. With your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, gently lower the leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. And let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor. Having the feet about hip width apart and walking the heels as close toward the hips as feels comfortable. Having the arms alongside the body, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Pressing the shoulders back into the mat. And then lift the toes, spread them wide, and plant them down as your other end of your bridge. Take a breath in and out. And with your next inhaling breath, we'll scoop the pelvis, gently squeezing the buttocks and rolling the spine up, pressing the hips high. As you exhale, slowly rolling down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. If you're holding, pressing back onto the shoulders gently. Knees stay parallel to each other. If you'd like to add the chest opener, you can roll your shoulders underneath, either holding a strap or interlacing the fingers as you press the palms toward each other. Elbows can stay slightly bent, or if it feels okay for the elbows for the arms to be extended, you can do that. Pressing into the feet, lifting the hips high. Chin is gently away from the chest. And gently rolling the shoulders out. Begin to roll the spine down. And take a breath in and out. Deep breath in. And with your next exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Let's bring the right ankle over the left thigh, allowing that right knee to fall out to the side. Lengthen through the spine. You can gently press the right hand on the thigh, pressing the knee outward, or if it feels okay, lift the left foot off of the floor, take hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flex the right foot as you draw the left knee toward the body, just as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders tuck under. Sending the breath to the right hip. Releasing any worries or frustrations stuck in the hip. Allowing them to float away on the breath. And we'll gently release the left leg, placing the foot on the floor. Let's take the right foot into our hand, bringing the right hand onto the arch of the foot. We'll lift the sole of the foot to face the ceiling and allow the right knee to come on the outside of the ribs, coming into half happy baby. Really softening around the hip. If you'd like to kind of rock a little, see if that helps to let go. Feel free to do that. And if you'd like to extend your leg, you can do that. I'm going to have to shift a little to do that so I have a little or have enough space. Noticing where you're holding on through the hip, gently letting go. And then we'll bend the leg and release the foot. Then we'll bring the left ankle over the right thigh. Again, placing the left hand on the left thigh if that feels okay, gently pressing the knee outward. Or lifting the right foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Flexing the left foot as you draw the right knee toward the body. Lengthen through the neck, shoulders tuck under. Breathing into the left hip. Releasing any anger or anxiety stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. We'll release the right leg Take the left foot bringing the left hand onto the arch of the left foot and bringing the sole of the foot to the ceiling as the knee comes to the outside of the ribs in half happy baby pose. Again, a little rocking if that feels good, just gently kind of softening and loosening the muscles. And if it feels okay for your body to work on extending the leg out, you can use a strap here as well. And then gently bending the leg, bringing the foot back to the floor. Let's bring both knees over the torso, gently hugging them in. Breathing into the low belly. From here, you can either roll to your right side, pressing up with the palms, or kick the feet over the head and gently rock up. Let's come onto our hands and knees. If you'd like to add the blanket underneath your knees for a little extra cushion, please do that. So bring your hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Extend the spine, the head out from the spine. Soften the elbows. Inner elbows are facing each other. Tuck the shoulder blades, belly muscles drawn up. Take a breath in and out in a strong table pose. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. And with your next inhale, come back to table pose. Let's tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back, downward dog. Softening the knees, pressing back through the hips. Head drops between the arms, chin away from the chest. Let the shoulders roll back toward each other, and as it feels okay, you can press the heels toward the floor, lengthening through the calves. Feeling balanced between the hands and the feet as the tailbone and the hips lift up toward the sky. Shifting the weight to the left foot with your next inhale, reach the right leg up toward the sky. Really actively reaching through the heel. And let's draw the knee in toward the chest and gently step forward. We're going to bring the hands on the inside of the foot. So if you need to walk your foot out to the outer edge of the mat a little, go ahead and do that. And we're going to make some circles with the hip. So really listen to your body and do as much as feels okay for you, not overdoing. Just really warming those hips up and loosening the muscles around them. And we'll switch directions. And then dropping that left hip down, can have the hips squared with the front of the mat. You can bring the back knee down if that feels more comfortable. If you'd like to come into lizard, bringing the forearms down, do that. And if you'd like to, you can let the right knee drop out to the side as you come onto the outer edge of the right foot into lizard. We'll come back onto the hands. Let's drop the back knee down if it's not already. Uncurl that back foot. Placing the right hand on the mat inside of the right foot. You can use a block here too if that feels better for you. And with your next inhale, let's sweep the left arm open, coming into dragon. Just resting here, softening through the front of the left hip. Pressing the right arm and the right leg against each other for leverage and balance. And then we'll lower the left hand. Let's rock that right hip back, lengthening the leg. If it feels okay, you can lift the toes, stretching down through the hamstrings. Through the calf. And then we'll shift forward and bring that right leg back. Tucking the toes under, pressing the hips up and back into downward dog. Again, knees soft, hips reaching high, head between the arms, chin away from the chest. Shoulders rolling back toward each other. And then gently softening the heels toward the floor. Notice how the right and the left hip, may feel the same or different. Shifting the weight to the right leg, lift the left leg up toward the sky, reaching through the heel. Then draw the knee in toward the chest. Shift your weight forward and step forward with that left foot. Can bring the foot a little bit to the outside of the mat as you bring both hands on the inside of the left foot. Right knee can be on the floor or in the air. And we'll again make some circles with this left hip now. And reverse the circles. And coming back to the center, you can keep again that right knee up or down, and you can bring the forearms down to the mat if that feels okay. You can keep the left foot flat on the mat or come to the outer edge of it, dropping that left knee out to the side into lizard. Pressing into the forearms, holding yourself up, softening through the hips. Then we'll bring the foot back flat, drop the back knee down, coming back onto the hands. We'll plant that left hand on the inside of the left foot, or if you'd like to use a block there underneath the hand as well. Pressing the left shoulder and knee against each other, we'll inhale, sweeping the right arm up into dragon. Softening through the front of the right hip, hold and breathe. And we'll float the hand down. Rock that left hip back, lengthening through the back of the leg and lifting the toes if that feels okay. We'll bring the left foot back to the mat. Bring that left arm on the outside of the foot. And then we'll step forward with the right foot. Feet are hip width apart, softening the knees, lengthening through the spine. With your next inhaling breath, lift halfway up, hands on the shins. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Notice if your shoulders are scrunching up by the ears and let them tuck back and down. Pressing into the feet. Knees are soft. Think about pressing back through the hips. And with your next exhaling breath, gently fold over, resting the hands on the floor, blocks or shins. Releasing the back of the neck if that feels okay. Releasing through the low back, letting the spine lengthen. Knees are slightly bent or more if needed. Bending the knees. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up, bringing the palms together over the head. And as you exhale, hands to the heart. All right. Let's work with dancer as a balance pose today. So if you'd like to use the wall for support, you'll want to be facing the wall about an arm length away. If it's hard for you to reach your foot or bend the knee that far, go ahead and use a strap. Don't have one handy to model, but you can place the strap under the foot, cross it over the ankle, and then hold from back here as a way to support, or you can also just hook it on the foot, whatever feels best for you. So finding our balance on both feet, having our hips about hip width apart, we'll find our mountain pose, spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, and knees soft. Lift the toes, spread them wide as you lower them down. Find a focus spot for your gaze and shift your weight to the left foot. If you're using the wall, go ahead and have the left hand out on the wall. We'll bend the right leg behind us, taking hold of the foot either on the outside or inside, or using the strap. Think about pressing down through the right knee, helping that right hip to shift down. You can either come onto fingertips on the wall, or if it feels okay, lift that left arm up by your ear, keeping the left knee slightly bent. Stay here, or as it feels okay, you can begin pushing your foot into the hand or strap, gently arching through the back, and tilting the torso forward just as far as feels okay. Finding a steady place, you can push the foot a little higher into the leg. Nope, the foot a little higher into the hand. And if you'd like to, you could put the fingertips, the thumb and the pointer finger together into the mudra. Listening to your body, gently coming down when you're ready. We'll take out those legs and find our balance on both feet again. Lifting the spine up tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes, spread them wide. Getting the strap on the left foot if you're using that. Shifting your weight to the right leg, knee slightly bent, and finding a focus spot for your gaze. If you're using the wall, you can have that right hand out on the wall. And when you're ready, bend the left leg, taking hold of the foot on the inside or outside or using the strap. Dropping that left knee down to let the hip drop down. Coming to fingertips on the wall or hand up by the ear. Right knee slightly bent as we gently begin to push the foot into the hand or strap, arching the back and beginning to tilt the torso forward. Keeping the pelvis squared with the floor, not opening up to the side. When you find that steady spot, you can push the foot into the hand or strap. And if it feels okay, you could add the mudra with the thumb and pointer finger touching. Listening to your body, holding as long as feels comfortable, and then gently lowering down. Let's do a little floppy twist, just to release through the low back. All right, and then we'll spread our legs a little wider. Let's turn the that's the right foot toward the short end of the mat, dropping that left heel back. We'll have our hips facing the long end of the mat. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height. You're gonna work with Trikonasana. Exhale, pressing that left hip to the wall behind us, reaching the right arm out across the room. Then letting the arm float down, rotating the torso so it's facing the wall. Left hand can rest on the low back or lift up toward the sky, just floating out of the shoulder. Press into both feet, making sure the quadriceps in both legs are engaged. Lengthen through the spine, soften through the hamstrings of the right leg. Pressing into the feet with your next inhale, lift up tall. As you exhale, we'll bring the right forearm to the thigh, keeping the torso again facing the wall. Left hand can be at the low back, or you can drop that left arm over the ear if that feels okay for your shoulder. Pressing through your left heel as you reach to the fingertips of the left hand. If it feels okay, you could bring that right hand down toward the mat or on the floor or the block. Pressing the elbow and the knee against each other as we did earlier for stability. And then with your next inhale, turn to face the mat, sweep the hand across, lift the arms up, and float the hands down. We'll switch our feet. So the left foot will be pointing toward the short end of the mat. Right heel dropped back, hips facing the long end of the mat. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Exhale, press your right hip out behind you. Left arm reaches out across the room, floating the left hand down. Right arm either to the low back or floating up out of the right shoulder. Rotating the torso to face the wall in front of you. Pressing actively into both feet so the quadriceps are engaged in the thighs. Lengthen through the spine and along the side body. And soften through the hamstrings of the left leg. Pushing into the feet with your next inhale, lift up tall. As you exhale, we'll bend that left leg, bring the forearm to the thigh. Again, the hand can come to the low back or right arm over the right ear. Pressing into both feet, rotating the torso to face the wall. Pressing through the right heel and reaching through the right fingertips. Or if it feels okay, you could bring that left hand down toward the mat or a block, pressing the elbow and the knee against each other. And then gently turning to face the mat as you inhale, sweep the arm across and lift up tall. Exhale, floating the hands down. Let's bring both feet to face the long end of the mat. We'll interlace our hands behind us, or if you'd like to use a strap, holding on behind as well. Pressing the palms together if your fingers are interlaced. Roll the shoulders back. Extend the arms out as far as feels okay, keeping the elbows bent so that you don't hyperextend them. But if it feels okay to extend them a little more, do that. Lift the heart, squeezing those shoulder blades toward each other. Soften the knees. Press the hips out behind us and we'll begin to lower the torso down toward the mat, dropping the hands over the back of the head. Listening to your body. Press actively into the feet. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other and let the arms drop a little further. Then we'll bring the hands to the low back and then release the strap if you have one and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's walk the feet a little closer toward each other, stopping just outside of hip width apart. If you like to use a block for Malasana squat, place that in the center behind the heels. Then we'll bend the knees, dropping the hips, lifting the heart. Bringing the hands to the heart, working with the high Malasana here, if that feels better for your knees. If it feels okay to come down onto the block or dropping the hips by the heels, go ahead and do that. Or if it feels better to come all the way to the mat, walking the feet out a little further, pressing the elbows or upper arms into the knees or thighs in whatever position you're in. Lengthen through the spine. Tailbone reaches toward the floor. Soften around the hips. And then we'll gently lower down the rest of the way. And let's meet in Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet facing each other. Taking hold at the ankles or the toes. If you feel like you're kind of rounding and you want to place a blanket or a pillow underneath your hips, go ahead and do that. It will help your pelvis to be able to tilt forward, just as we do in a seated forward bend. So think about pushing the feet together. It's going to make the knees come up because we're going to engage those inner groin muscles. And now let's gently release them. And think about using the outer hip muscles to draw the knees down a little more, just as far as feels okay. Now lift the heart and gently begin to tilt the pelvis forward just as far as feels okay. When you find that edge, stop there, soften around it, lengthen a little more, soften again if that feels okay. And then with your next inhale, let's lift up tall. We'll bring the hands on the outside of the knees. Bring the knees together. Give the legs a little hug. You can drop your chin. And then we'll come back to cross-legged. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders back and down. With your next inhaling breath, lift through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down as you breathe into the left side of the neck. Gently releasing anything stuck in the neck. Allowing it to float away on the breath. If you'd like, you can bring the left hand to the mat and walk the fingers away. And then we'll come back to the center with your next inhale. Exhale, dropping the left ear over the left shoulder. Breathing into the right side of the neck. Gently letting go. And if it feels okay, again, you can bring the right hand to the mat and gently walk the fingers away. And with your next inhale, come back to the center, bringing the hand back in. And as you exhale, turn your chin over your right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, the chin over the left shoulder. Inhale, center. And let the breath go. Let's bend the knees in front of us. If you'd like to go ahead and begin putting sweater or socks on now, feel free to do that. And when you're ready, coming to the center of the mat, we'll round the spine, gently rolling back. Lengthening the spine, lifting the feet up toward the sky. You can rock a block or your hands underneath the hips, supporting the legs. Lengthen through the neck. Ankles and knees are soft as you breathe into the belly. And gently bending the knees and rocking the hands or block out from underneath the hips. You can hug the knees in toward the body or make circles with the low back by drawing the knees in and out, just gently massaging. You can also rock gently from side to side. And if you're doing circles, you can reverse those circles. And then if you'd like one last twist, you can bring the arms out at shoulder height, knees together. Dropping the knees to the right, we'll turn the vision to the left, releasing through the spine. With your next inhale, coming to the center and gently exhaling to the left, vision to the right, releasing through the spine. And with your next inhale, come back to the center and lower the feet down. Preparing for Shavasana, you can walk the feet out to the edges of the mat, resting the knees together, or extend the legs out. And if you'd like a bolster or blanket underneath your knees for support, please add that, easing strain on the low back. If it's cool in your where you are, you can also add a blanket covering yourself just to keep the warmth in the body. So as it allows you to relax a little more. Shoulders tuck under, arms slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself, sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, for ourselves. Thank you all so much for coming today and joining me.